Today I want to do a lesson called How to Read Guitar Tab. You know, there's different levels of skill involved in reading guitar tab. Today I want to cover several of the most common symbols that you'll find in guitar tab, as well as a few symbols that are in standard notation. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my screen capture video, and that way I can show you the guitar tab and kind of play along with it. See you in a couple seconds. Okay, so you should be looking at How to Read Guitar Tab on your screen, and you'll see there are about 4 chords at the top of the page, and I'll go over those a little bit later. Right now I'm going to go ahead and play through this, and I may go ahead and count along with it to help with the timing a little bit, and so I'm going to go ahead and start this guitar tab. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that was the guitar tab, and I'm going to pause this for a second, and I'll be right back. Okay, let's take this one measure at a time. I'm looking at the first measure, and I'm saying a rest. It's a whole rest. It gets 4 counts, and the song is in 4/4 time, which means there's 4 beats per measure, and you've got 2 staves here. The top staff is the standard notation, and the bottom staff here is the guitar tab. And the most obvious thing about the guitar tab is that there are there's an indication of what string to play and what fret or open string that you should play. So in measure 2 you've got the 6th string open, and in measure 3 you've got the 5th string open. In the next measure, measure 4, you've got the 4th string open. And in the next measure, you've got the 3rd string open, and the next measure, the 2nd string open, and the next measure, which is number 7, you've got the 1st string open. Okay, the way that works is that The sixth string open would be on the bottom line in the guitar staff, and the reason for that is because of the pitch. It's the lowest pitch, and so it's going to be on the lowest string. And then when you get to measure 7, where you have the first string open, it's on the highest line because it's the highest pitch. There's also a little symbol here above each note that looks kind of like a downward bracket. It just means that that's a downstroke with your pick. And so anyway, the 8th measure is a rest, which means there's silence, another whole rest. And in the 9th measure, you've got the open 6th string again, and so that's just like that, and that's 4 counts on that. And then in the 10th measure, you've got the 6th string 1st fret. You want to use your 1st finger, and then you go on to the next measure. You've got your 2nd finger on the 6th string. That is an F sharp, which happens to be the same as a G flat. But anyway, the next measure is a G note on the 6th string, which is you play with your 3rd finger. And then that's followed by measure 13, which is the 6th string 4th fret, and you want to use your 4th finger on that. Whenever you press down a note, it's good to press it down near the fret, or at least in the middle to near the fret. That makes it a little bit easier for the a little bit easier to press the string down. In the 14th measure, you've got the 6th string 5th fret. So you're going to use your little finger twice, once for the 6th string 4th fret and once for the 6th string 5th fret. Okay, and then in measure 15, we've just got another whole rest, which is counted 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, in the next measure, which is measure 16, you've got the 5th string 3rd fret, and you use your 3rd finger to play that. Now this is actually the beginning of a scale, which happens to be a C scale. There's a little bit different timing indications in this scale. So anyway, the 5th string 3rd fret is a whole note, so it gets 4 counts and it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then on the next measure, which is measure number 17, you've got the 4th string open, which is a D note, and it sounds like this. It's only a half note though, so it gets 2 counts. 1, 2. Now there's another half note, which happens to be the same note. It's the 4th string open, and that's a D, and it gets 2 counts, and it's counted 3, 4. Okay, now in measure 18, you've got 4 notes. They're all the same note. They're the 3rd string 2nd fret, or excuse me, 4th string 2nd fret, and that's an E note, and you use your 2nd finger to play those, and they're quarter notes, so that each one of them gets a beat, and it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes to the next measure, which is the 4th string 3rd fret, and that's another whole note, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next measure, which is measure 20, you've got 4 open strings. That's the 3rd string open, and they're all quarter notes, so they're counted 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in measure 21, you've got 8 notes, and they happen to be actually called eighth notes, and it takes 8 of them to make up a measure. And also on this, you're going to have another symbol. You've got the downstroke symbol, which looks kind of like a bracket, and then the upstroke symbol is more like a V. Anyway, the reason for that is that you're going to be using a downstroke followed by an upstroke. Anytime you start to play faster notes, that's what you do. So anyway, this is the third string, second fret, an A note, and it's counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that leads to the next measure, which is measure 22. You've got 16th notes in this, so there are 16 of them, and they're quite fast. You would count it 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. And then the next measure is a C note on the second string first fret. It's another whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, earlier I played through this on the guitar and didn't have all this stopping and starting, and so you might want to refer to that if you want to get a feel for what it sounds like to play this whole guitar tab without all the stopping and starting. Okay, so I just finished up with measure 23 on a C note. The next measure is 24, and it's just a rest for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're probably over halfway through this. Now in measure 25, I've got 2 hammer-ons. The hammer-on is when you hit a note and then take a finger and hammer onto another note. So in this case, it's a 4th string open, and you bring your second finger down on the 4th string 2nd fret. Whoops, let me try it again. So you don't hit the 2nd note with your pick. You just hit the 1st note and then bring that finger down. That's called a hammer. And there's 2 of these in the measure. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the opposite of the hammer is a pull-off. And in measure 26, we've got 2 pull-offs. So you're taking your finger and pulling it off to cause a 2nd note to sound. And in this case, it's a 4th string 2nd fret, pulling it off to the 4th string open. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. In the next measure, and I wanted to mention there's a typical symbol for the hammer, and that's simply an H, usually placed above the notes. And usually also you'll find a curved line connecting the 1st note of the hammer to the 2nd note of the hammer. That's another way that you can kind of look for the hammer, is with those curved notes and also the H above them. Now on the pull-off, you're going to have a P above the notes, and you'll still have the curved lines. And so anyway, you've got in this measure 26, 2 pull-offs. The first one sounds like this, and the second one is the same. Okay, so that's how you do that. Let me play those 2 measures together, 25 and 26, with the 2 hammers and then 2 pull-offs. Okay, that's followed by measure 27. You've got a new symbol here. It's basically a slide. And rather than a H for hammer or a P for pull-off, you've got an SL for slide. And these are all just standard symbols that we use in guitar tab. Got the curved lines again. So in this measure, we're going to slide from the 4th string 3rd fret down to the 2nd fret. And then we're going to do the opposite of that in the next part of the measure. We're going to go from the 2nd fret to the 3rd fret. I generally use my middle finger for that. So anyway, that's 1 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the open string. Okay, so that's the way that sounds. Now we're almost done. We've got measure 29, which is another whole note, or excuse me, whole rest. So that's counted 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we've got some chords, and the chords are G, E minor, C, and D. And they're also up at the top of the guitar tab in the form of chord diagrams, which is usually the easiest way to represent a chord. And for the G chord, you put your 1st finger on the 5th string 2nd fret, like so. You put your 2nd finger on the 6th string 3rd fret, like that, and then your ring finger or 3rd finger on the 1st string 3rd fret, and then you play 3 open strings, which have the little zeros above the strings. So this is a G chord, and that's the way that it looks in a chord diagram. Then on the E minor, basically you put your 2nd finger on the 5th string 2nd fret, and your 3rd finger or ring finger on the 4th string 2nd fret, and strum 6 strings. On the C chord, you put your ring finger on the 5th string 3rd fret, and your middle finger on the 4th string 2nd fret, and then the 3rd string is open, and then your index finger goes on the 2nd string 1st fret, and then you've got the open 1st string. You strum only 5 strings, and we don't really want to hit the 6th string. And then on the D chord, you're only going to strum 4 strings. So you've got the 4th string open, you've got the 3rd string 2nd fret with your index, you've got the 2nd string 3rd fret with your ring finger, and the 1st string 2nd fret with your middle finger. So you just strum 4 strings. Occasionally you use the 5th string, but as a general rule, just strum 4 strings. So there's the 4 chords as far as the chord diagrams at the top of the page. And I'm going to go back down to the bottom of the page in the last 4 measures of the song. This is what the same chords look like in guitar tab. You'll notice there are notes that are stacked upon each other. And that means that you're going to hit them all basically at the same time. So the bottom line is the 6th string 3rd fret, and the next line is the 5th string 2nd fret. Then you've got the 4th string open, 3rd string open, 2nd string open, and the 1st string 3rd fret. So it's the same chord, just a different way of writing it. And the same way with the E minor. The guitar notes are stacked upon each other, and you just strum them all at one time. Same way with the C, except you don't hit the 6th string. And same way with the D, except you don't hit the 5th or 6th strings. In the very last 2 measures, there are some notes that are tied together, and that is because on this E minor, you actually strum the E minor and let it ring for 4 counts, and then let it continue on into the next measure for another 4 counts. So you're not going to hit it twice. You're going to hit it in the 34th measure and let it last for the 34th and the 35th. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's pretty much my explanation for the guitar tab, and I think that should pretty well cover it. Like I said, you've got the first part of the video where I run through the guitar tabs so you can hear what the whole thing sounds like together. And I want to thank you for watching my video, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.